Hello, this is Attorney Danza, the United States #1 clown attorney. One of my favorite podcasts is called Podcrash, and you're listening to it. Every week they talk to a different guest. Sometimes they're clowns, sometimes they're not. I usually only listen to the clown ones. Your hosts, Anna and April, talk to them about life and liberty and the pursuit of all things random. Take it from me, Attorney Danza, and I hope you enjoyed the show.
Shut up, and sit down.
Hey, and welcome. You are listening to Podcrashed. Right now you are hearing the dulcet tones of me, April. Anna is not with me at the moment. She usually does all the talking, so I get stuck doing the intros. We're changing up our format a little bit. We're hopefully going to have like an intro corrections corner at the beginning of every show, so if you have questions, comments, you can email us, comment on the Facebook page, do what you want to do, and we'll read your comment aloud for everyone to hear. We apologize. We didn't really have a plan for this episode, so we just kind of freeform talk and do some questions later on. But we still hope you enjoy. So yeah, enjoy the episode.
The bus is coming. April didn't know there were words either.
Nope. I did not.
We're doing this from aboard a plane full of snakes. Sam Jackson's here. But he's trying to kill the snakes, so you won't ever hear
He's
him.
just running around saying, "Get these motherfucking snakes off this
Did
motherfucking
you know
plane."
that when they announced that movie was going to be, it was called Snakes on a Plane and it had Sam Jackson, someone made a joke about that being a line, and it wasn't a line, so they refilmed it so that it was a line.
Really?
Yeah, so it wasn't in the original script. But they're like, no, they're going to expect it.
No, we have to do it.
Yep.
All right, so are we gonna do an intro, or are we just starting like the?
I don't know. We're working on things, you guys.
We are. We have tentative plans.
We have ideas. We have we have part concepts.
We have parts of concepts.
Fragments.
Fragmented concepts.
Yep. Ooh, Fragmented Concepts. That sounds like a really boring podcast name. Fragmented Concepts.
I think we just found the title for the episode.
We definitely get NPR play, though.
There we go.
Fragmented Concepts.
Welcome to Fragmented Concepts. Today,
I'm Jules Abernathy. They always have a real bizarre name, and you're not sure based on...
I'm Quinn Donahue.
No relation to
Quinn.
Phil. Quinn. Malarkey Rampage.
All right, so we have no topic
No.
for today.
Not in the slightest.
So we're gonna ramble and see where it goes, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's not too much different than most of what we do.
usually do. I had debated opening up like Facebook chat and saying, "Hey, we're recording," but
Nobody's gonna care.
nobody will care.
Yeah, we don't do it for anybody but ourselves.
That's all right.
So what are some of these fragments of concepts? So we've been reevaluating how we do the podcast, what we want to do with it, what works, what we don't like doing, what we want to elaborate on. We had a whole conversation in a car on the way from Albion to Portland, Michigan to do an escape room last week.
Yeah.
It was really good. It was a kidnapped escape room. Portland Escape Rooms, or Escape Rooms Portland is the name of it. If you live anywhere near that area, I recommend it. It's very nice. North of Lansing.
Very cool.
A lot of fun. Anyway, so we were discussing it, and we kind of were on the same page about what we liked and
I think so.
What we wanted to do. April's she's an enigma. She's aloof. She's a lot of other SAT words. So it's hard to get her readings on things. She could think your idea is terrible, but she won't exactly say it. She'll just kind of jump around it.
Deal with it.
Well, if that's what you want to do, it's one of those answers. It's like when your mom asks you to do something and you're like, or do you want me to do this? Well, if that's what you want to do. No, that's not. Is that what you want me to do? Well, I just want you to do what makes you happy.
Kind of like asking you, like getting your mom's opinion on what you're wearing.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to wear that? Well, I guess not.
Yeah. Well, no, if you like it. It's like not quite an insult or not quite a negative comment, but at the same time, you know.
You know
the layers.
Can feel that negativity.
You're like, you've been my mother for my whole life. Damn near my whole life. And I know how you talk.
I know how to read you.
Right?
But,
read you like a book.
Well, we were thinking of bringing back more games. Those are fun.
Games are fun.
Some improv stuff.
We were thinking of recording and then coming back and doing intros and also corrections, since I can't speak for April, but I myself know that I say a lot of things that in the moment seem right. And then I find out later, no, that was completely wrong. You know, that statistic was definitely not correct. It was just something I pulled out of thin air, thinking I had heard it. Turns out I hadn't. But I'm a lot like a politician in that way. I just say whatever comes to mind, and I worry if it's factual later.
Fix it later.
Yeah.
Either you deny it or you fix it.
Yeah, I never said that. Wrong. Fake news.
I don't know if this episode's gonna work out.
Well,
just talking like this, planning.
I don't know. Neither of us are really on point today.
Nope. Again.
Well, okay. So just to put things into perspective, guys. Last week it was like 70 degrees. It was windy. It felt like fall. It felt like fucking fall, man. And then today it's like 90. It's muggy. I hate it. The whole week made me forget summer was a thing, and now I remember that summer is still here, and I forgot what hot weather was, and now I remember what hot weather was, and I'm not in a good mood when it's hot.
It's too hot, too sticky.
Last night I couldn't sleep very well because it was hot, so I kept getting up and opening windows, and the window in our living room, the cross ventilation will close my door, so I'll wake up to my door slamming.
Oh.
So then I'll have to go and open my door.
You need a little brick couch thing.
That makes sense in the moment, but when I do this, I'm half asleep, so I can barely function enough to get up and open the door, let alone think, what can I put in front of the door to keep it from slamming?
A shoe?
Yeah.
Something.
But anyway, so I've just been a little off my game today.
Well, I had thought of a potential solve where I'm going to go to a random topic generator.
Ooh.
And we'll talk about whatever that brings up.
All right.
Let's see. I'm just clicking on the first one.
Okay.
These are pretty lame. All right. First one that pops up. It's a random question. If you could give one piece of advice to the whole world, what would it be?
You can care about and support your fellow man without it deterring from your own happiness. I think a lot of people think, oh, well, if I'm helping out other people, that it's somehow taking away from me. You know what I mean? Like people who don't want to spread generosity to people because they're like, well, I work hard for my money, so why would I want to support those people? I'm not saying you have to give them all your money, but there has to be a fair amount of help in the world. You have to help each other, help your fellow man. And by doing that, you're not necessarily screwing yourself over. And I think a lot of people feel that way. Mm-hmm. It's frustrating. It's just, you'll be fine.
Sometimes, though, I feel like, especially with it makes me think of the, like, Medicare, the food stamps systems, where if you help people, there's a fine line between, like, helping them get on their feet and then helping them, like, too much.
Right.
Or something like that. Because if there's, like, food stamps or whatever that people have, if they're Medicaid or Medicare or whatever, if they're on it for so long, then they lose the will to like do for themselves.
Well, see, those types of plans were created after the Great Depression when nobody had anything, and they were meant to be temporary fixes. But the problem is we're putting a Band-Aid over a bullet wound. We're temporarily fixing something, but we're not looking at the long term. So as opposed to attacking, we're starting to do it a little bit, but as opposed to attacking the reason why people can't support themselves, minimum wage isn't high enough, the price of living keeps rising while the price of income doesn't. While we keep putting those things off or going against those, then services like food stamps and unemployment are going to be continued to be relied upon by people. If we got to a point where we said, hey, you can get a job and you can support your family, you just have to do it, then we can go back to being like, you're only allowed to have this program for a limited time, and after that, if you haven't found a job, but it's we're not fixing the problem. It's like the gun debate. We're not fixing it. It comes back to mental health. We need to make sure people with mental health issues get the proper care they need so that they don't buy guns. That way we don't have to make it a huge issue about the guns themselves. We can make it an issue about who's owning them. So, like a lot of problems, and it's always a blame game anyway. It's no one wants to take responsibility for anything. They just want to foist it off. And it's like, I get it. You're mad because this is how it is. So instead of blaming somebody, let's deal with it and go forward. We're here now. Who cares how we got up to this point? Let's keep going.
Fix it, yeah.
But people just keep wanting to shift blame. So
That, or I just thought of another thing as far as like helping people. Oh, like when you donate to like stores, they have a cause or whatever, like the American Humane Society or Goodwill or something like that. It's hard to donate them because then you look online and you see how much of what you donate actually goes to the animals or whatever,
right?
Where you're donating to mostly like the CEO or the corporate.
Yeah, it's like a fraction of the
raises.
Price. Or like anytime during breast cancer awareness, the NFL will do like fundraising where they'll wear like the pink socks and everything, and that money goes to, it's 10% goes to the actual foundation, and it doesn't go to breast cancer research. It goes to screening centers that do breast cancer that qualify based on certain criteria, and they have to be within so many miles of the actual team stadium. So it's like when you think about it, and so that means they're going to certain centers, but they're not going to others, which means Planned Parenthood, who screens for breast cancer, or something like that, won't get them because they don't qualify, because they also have reproductive and abortion information, and that's a whole nother issue. Just, telling me what to do with my body. But anyway, okay. Well, yes. So that would just be my advice, would be there's a way that we can help each other without feeling like we're being screwed over and without making people freeload on the system. So
Yes.
we just have to be willing to admit when we're wrong and brainstorm how to get better and not play, for lack of a better term, the politics of it. Stop blaming sides. Stop trying. It's all about agendas, and nothing gets done because people are foisting their own agendas. And it's infuriating because you spend 8 years on something, you get a new president, you just spend then it gets rid of it.
They tear it all down in 5 seconds.
It's a ridiculous, and I think the founding fathers, they intended our Constitution and to be reevaluated when it wasn't working. And the fact that we were just like, oh no, Constitution says, well, yeah, but the Constitution was written 200 years ago.
Or it is interesting to think about how, like, people that support, like, you pay very close attention, or you don't interpret the Constitution, you go exactly by what it says.
Yeah.
But they only focus on certain aspects of it.
Yeah, people do the same thing with the Bible. Yeah.
With the Bible, everything else, yeah. Where, like, if you're going to be so loyal to something, you got to be loyal to all of it.
Yeah.
I feel. Or else you're not.
And if you can't be loyal to all of it because not all of it makes sense anymore, that's when you think, maybe we should reevaluate this. Well, it says all men are created equal, but then it proceeds down further in the information, which we don't memorize, to specify what they refer to as a man. And it's not, obviously not women. and it's not men of color.
Yep.
And you know what I mean? So it's like Native
Apparently
people are not
like,
factored in there.
It's not homosexuals or transgender.
It's a very
so
loose.
many.
It's essentially straight white men, and unfortunately, they're still the ones that are controlling a lot of things. So that will never change until we get a generation of either straight white men who are liberal enough minded to understand that you have to support your fellow man in all aspects, or you get some more minorities and women up there.
Hey.
But
Then nothing will get done. There'll be just a lot of stony silences.
what?
With women not talking to each other.
Oh, I like that
That's
joke of
always the
like,
joke.
oh, a woman can't be president because she gets her period and gets emotional. I'm sorry, but if you were to ask me, I would say that Trump's on the rag constantly. The man is so emotional. It's mostly anger, but at the same time, it's like I've never seen anyone use less logic to make judgments than this person. So if anybody's going, that's the thing I personally liked about Hillary is because she was a woman, but she was she was a politician, which I know people didn't like. But it's like, if she had been more of a quote-unquote woman, spoke more from the heart, cried when she felt frustrated like most women do, she would have gotten nailed on it.
Yeah.
So she didn't, because she spent her whole career understanding you have to maintain a certain air to get taken seriously by men. And then that's what we get her for. Oh, she's too cold. Well, I'm sorry, but if she were to behave like an actual woman wants to, you know what I mean? Like, if this is why, like, people have been like, oh, if you care about what you should run for, like, local office. I'm like, I would be terrible. I would be in a meeting, like a local representative, and they would say something about, like, well, yeah, but if we do this, then blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, I would I wouldn't be able to hold myself to the parameters of professionalism. So that's why it wouldn't work for me, because I can't keep it together enough. And people who are in places of power have to be able to maintain their cool.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like if we had more people that actually spoke their minds and their meetings were more like, you're a fucking idiot for even thinking of that. It would probably be more productive.
Some countries, you watch their
Government sessions.
Their government sessions, and they will throw chairs at each other. They'll scream. They'll yell. The Taiwanese government, it's a big deal over there because they'll get in full on wrestling matches. But a lot of people have said, oh, well, they don't. It's kind of faked, kind of in a way, because to show that the people that they're representing, their regions or whatever, that they're really stepping up on their behalf.
They care about what they're doing.
They care about what their people get, to the point where they're willing to physically fight for it.
Or at least they pretend to care about it.
Yeah.
But at least they pretend to care. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so much, I don't know. I always feel there's so much corruption and so much just politics.
Yeah.
in
That's
our government.
The number one issue with politics is politics.
Politics, yeah. Where, I mean, there's so...
Yeah.
Any kind of... any show that you watch about the government. I mean, House of Cards, or is it Breaking Bad or something like that? Is that the government?
No, West Wing was one.
West Wing.
That's my under the table. Sorry.
But every time you ever see them where they're trying to get something done that is good, or they think is, helpful, it'll do something, there's always oh, well, no, we're... our party members don't agree with this little thing, so you need to change this and make this whole thing worthless.
Well, it's all,
or it's just
it's all buying and selling, in the sense that you want something passed, again, based on your agenda, whatever reason you want it, whether you think it's actually good for the people you're representing, or whether you're utilizing it to get something else, which is a lot of the case. You go to another, Congress, or you go to another representative and you say, hey, you vote on this proposal for me, then you get a vote for me for something you want later. It's all that type of backdoor dealings, because again, it comes all down to the mighty dollar and who can make more money. And because people who want to be politicians are quite often not the people you want to be politicians, because they're not. They're attracted to the ability of having power, and not because it is so frustrating, and because it is so draining, people who actually care get burnt out. And the only people that are left are the ones who are doing it for the money.
True.
So,
yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I
should
feel
go back to a barter system.
Barter, or I've thought sometimes just go back to a monarchy. I mean, You don't like the person in charge, you overthrow them.
Right?
I don't want to say you kill them, but you kill them.
If you were the French, you'd behead them.
You behead them, you ship them out of the country.
The monarchy was always hilarious because the idea that it came down to a family that was chosen by God. I always thought that was kind of funny. Like, well, why do they get to be the queen? Oh, because their great or whatever was chosen by God. Some countries, though, like France and stuff, it just whoever got in there after the other one was overthrown was like, I planted the flag. It's mine now.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I think when it comes down to like just on paper, I personally have always been attracted to communism, the idea that everybody's equal. However, just like our government, because people are involved, it will never work.
No.
Because you will never have people running things that agree to have everything fair.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work. Everyone read Animal Farm. It's not going to work. But on paper, it sounds great.
It does. In reality, not so much.
You go, you work your time at the factory or at the job, you come home, everything's
if the thing is that if everyone works, then everyone is equal. That's it's still against like the argument against like Medicare or whatever, like unemployment, where I'm not going to work my ass off to pay for this person who is choosing not to work, where they're completely capable to work,
right?
They're just not.
And I understand that, and I know that's frustrating, and I'm on board with that. But I think we, as a particularly people who oppose that social type of reform, they like to pretend that there are more of those people than there actually are. I'm not saying there aren't those people out there, and you could probably think of a couple that you might know. But I think on a larger scale, people who are getting unemployment, for example, are people who want to work and are trying to work.
Yeah.
The majority are. Obviously, there's going to be freeloaders everywhere.
I guess it depends on what city or town you live in.
But I think we thrive on pushing people to think that, everybody's freeloading. Because a lot of rich people think that the reason people are poor is because they're not doing something right. Or because they're choosing to remain poor. Or because they're spending their money on things that aren't important.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, if I worked 3 jobs and if I worked 60 hours a week to support my family, my kids, whoever's living in my home, and I still could only make ends meet, and I had to go to work for 12 hours every day, and the one joy that I had coming home was relaxing and watching television, then I'm going to buy a nice TV. I know I can't afford it because I've got to pay for everything, but this is my one luxury. I'm not going on cruises. I'm not going and buying designer clothing with money I don't have. But this is the one thing I want. Maybe my house looks like a giant trash bag, but I got my nice, 70-inch television because that's the one comfort that I can give myself. So it's like we shouldn't really be judging people on that side of it. Like, I read a lot of articles about trying to save money or budgeting, and all of them are like, oh, don't buy that $5 latte every day. First of all, I don't know who fucking is buying $5 lattes every single day, right? Second of all, if the $5 latte is what gets me through my entire day, then give me that luxury. If that means I'm going home and eating ramen for dinner, then that's a choice I've made.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I get that there are people that leech off the system, but I think there are a lot less than we like to pretend there are. Because anything comes down to it, I think most people are generally good people who want to do the right thing and want to be upstanding people. It's just the people who are loud and lazy that get the most attention. Squeaky wheel gets the grease, you know what I mean?
True.
So, that was a long answer. April, what advice would you want to give the world?
First thing that pops to my mind is, can't we all just get along?
I know, right? Just be nice to people, Jesus.
We're all here. We all need to survive. I mean,
yeah, the human existence is
to me. Religious wars are just pointless. Where that person over there doesn't agree with you, or they don't believe what you believe, but are they harming you by
It's true.
Think of that. It's the same way with gay rights and stuff like that. Why do we need to be arguing about their rights? That's their happiness. You're out there doing whatever you want to do. It's not affecting Joe Schmo over here. It's just his happiness and his mentality being wanting them to not have their happiness.
Yeah.
or something. So it's just, we need to stop just oppressing people for no goddamn reason than just because we don't like the way they're living their life.
It's true. It's true. I don't like the idea that you feel better about yourself because you're oppressing another group of people.
Mm-hmm.
But
I guess repression kind of comes from in every angle. So stop goddamn repressing people.
Right.
Just let everyone live their lives.
I think the human experience is hard enough, like, just getting on every day. We're not that different when it comes down to it. We're all sacks of skin, you know what I mean? Like, we're all human. You know, people spend too much time trying to categorize everybody based on minute things that don't make a difference. Your sexual identity does not make a difference. You're still a person. Your skin color does not make a difference. You're still a person. You know what I mean? Like, and because so many aspects of your life can be affected by stupid judgments like that, you know, it's like people who feel, I know I've heard somebody personally that I know that it drives me insane, but they will get on a tirade about how, well, why isn't it that Black Americans can't just get better jobs and then they won't live in poverty and blah, blah, blah. And they go on this whole tirade about it. And it's like, well, you grew up in a system where it's already stacked against you. You don't have access to the things to get yourself a better education. Even if you get that better education, you still don't have access to getting the job that you want or that you're qualified for. It's a system that's built against people, and it takes so much to get out of it, and a lot of people don't have the strength of will to push through. They can only go through so much, essentially. And occasionally you'll get somebody who's gone they've gone against every single odd and triumphed to the point where they become this massive, huge success. Someone like Oprah, for example, who went against being poor and having a baby really young, and she went against all, being a woman and all this kind of stuff.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Exactly. But for every Oprah, there's, you know what I mean? Thousands of people who don't have that ability. And I don't think it's a character flaw that you're human, that your will as a person isn't strong enough to constantly be battling battles. I don't think that's a character flaw. I think that's a human aspect. There's only so many things you can come up against and still keep fighting. I don't blame people for, be like, well, every time I turn a corner, something's coming against me. I'm tired. I just want it to stop. I'll give into it, and I'll be the stereotype that they think I am because I'm tired. And I get that completely. I have the benefit as a white person of having less of those to battle. Now, I'm a woman, so there's those battles. But it's like, if they didn't exist and we just let everybody kind of be free to live up to what expectations they had of themselves, there'd be a lot less, there'd be people all over of all different types, because it'd be whatever you as an individual were strong enough to achieve, as opposed to having a society that's constantly telling you shouldn't be doing stuff or can't do things.
That you can't do things, yeah.
So.
True. So
Sorry.
that got us on a good tirade.
I co-opted your
That's okay.
question. I'm sorry. I'm passionate yet also very relaxed at the moment, so otherwise I'd be screaming.
Yes. Thankfully you're not.
I know, right? It's too hot.
Too hot to scream. Too much energy.
Yep.
Then we just ate, so now we're like...
Yeah, I got a belly full of Chinese food, and it's roughly the same temperature in my belly as it is outside, so...
All right, next random question. What is your favorite song of all time?
Oh. Why don't you answer this one first, or you need a second to think?
Ooh. God, there's so many. The first one that I have two that pop into my mind. My Sharona.
Okay.
By
The Knack.
The Knack. Yeah. My Sharona.
Do 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 do
Because-
do. Band from Flint.
Yep. Because, well, I guess it's more tied to a memory, because I have a very fun, vivid memory of rocking out to that song over and over and over again on loop while up at Higgins Lake in the car driving with my cousins.
Right?
When I was younger.
Because it was the only single you had, right?
No, I think it might have been on CD by then, but we just had our aunt and uncle just keep repeating it.
My Sharona.
And then Uptown Girl. Uptown Girl.
Billy Joel.
Another song that I would force my mother to listen to on repeat so I could sing it over and over and over again in the car.
Yeah.
When I was younger. So
living in her white bread world.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I think those are mine.
Good. I really like the song. There's a song called "In a Heartbeat," and it was featured. It's been in a couple movies, but it was featured. It's an instrumental. It was featured heavily in the 28 Weeks Later soundtrack.
Okay.
It's a song that it's constantly, it like builds the whole time, and then it powers out at the end. So it's all instrumental, but it's like a real, like, it just, I like the feeling it gives me. It like, they used it really well in the movie. It's called In a Heartbeat, and it's Clint Mazel, I think, is the composer of it. The other one is also an instrumental. It's, what is it? It's the theme from Smoking Aces. Hold on, I have it on my phone. But it's, is it the theme from Smoky Aces? But it's also it builds. It's instrumental that builds. I just like those. And I mean, obviously become obsessed with certain songs, but then after a while there's ones I'll always like, no matter how many times I hear them. If we're talking memories though, when I was a kid, my mom used to listen to Patsy Cline in the car. She had Patsy Cline's greatest hits. So, like, Crazy or Walking After Midnight were always ones I really liked, that I still like to this day. I'm not a big country western fan, but I'll rock out to a Patsy.
Yeah.
Or a Loretta or a Dolly. But.
Or, let's see. If we're going old, I guess we should, if we do favorite songs, we should do genre? Song by, favorite song
by genre? Okay.
So, here, I'll just pull up a list of genres to help us out. Based on the songs that are on my phone. Blues? Got a favorite blues song?
I'm not generally a blues or jazz fan. I can appreciate a blues or jazz song, but I'm not generally like someone who's drawn to those particular genres. I don't know. Do you got a favorite blues song?
I don't think so. I do kind of, I think they're a blues band, but I found Cornbread Red.
Okay.
Where they do a blues cover of Linkin Park, the heavy metal band, and I really liked them. They did a good job.
Nice. Is it just one song, or they do the whole?
No,
all their album?
They did like a whole album.
You know, there's a band called Hugo, and they do a really good country western blues cover of 99 Problems by Jay-Z, where it's got a real like strong bass like drum in it. It's that genre of, do you remember the TV show True Blood? Did you ever watch True Blood? About the vampires? They had that theme that I want to do bad things to you, which is that kind of where it's rock, but it's like an electric, it's like a, not electric guitar, but like a
banjo?
Not a banjo. It is electric guitar, but it's like a, specifically like a country electric guitar, and it makes a certain sound. And, it's that type of genre of music.
All right.
So it's kind of blues.
Country?
I don't know. Patsy does a real good cover of Lovesick Blues that I like a lot.
All right.
How about you?
God, there's so many.
Ooh, I do like a Garth Brooks, though. My sister went through a phase when she was really into country in the early to mid 90s. So I was on, because she was my older sister, I was, liked everything she liked. So like Garth Brooks, Shania Twain, early LeAnn Rimes era. So I was really into Garth Brooks, and I still love the Red Strokes, or Thunder Rolls is still really good.
Ooh.
Both really good, and I can rock out to those. And I don't mind Shania, but her stuff gets repetitive.
A little bit, yeah. I feel like a woman.
Right. I remember being obsessed with the Any Man of Mine video, because she was walking around. There was a scene where she was in a tub in the horse pasture, and I thought that was real country of her. But she's Canadian, though. Does that even really count?
I mean, you can be country and be in Canada.
I guess. I always think of country singers having to be from the American South.
True, yeah.
But some of the most popular ones are from Canada and Australia, so.
The one that just popped into my head is by Sugarland. Stuck Like Glue. I think that's just because I love the music video, because it's so dorky and so funny.
Yeah. You've never heard my beef with that song? You have to ask Justin about it.
You have to have told me it.
So my big, and it's not like I don't actually really care, but I always give crap, is because it's you and maybe we're stuck like glue. and I feel it should be stuck with glue because glue doesn't stick to itself. But I don't know, it's not like an actual important thing, but it's just one of those things that like irks me about the song for some reason. Anyway. We had a running joke with Justin because he's a big country fan. Mm-hmm. He was showing me clips of the CMAs one year because Carrie Underwood hosted it, and obviously I could give a fuck, right? Mm-hmm. But he's kept showing me clips, and so every time a brunette country singer came on, I was like, "Is this Sarah Evans?" And he goes, "No, it's not Sarah Evans. It's such and such." And so every time I was like, "I thought we just saw Sarah Evans. It's not Sarah Evans. It's somebody else." And so every time I see a brunette country singer, I say, "Oh, Sarah Evans."
Bet he loves that.
Yep. He loves when I give him shit about his favorite music.
Metal? Do you have a favorite metal?
Do we have any? I mean, I like all Metallica songs. Would you consider them metal?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Metallica. I like For Whom the Bell Tolls is a really good one. The way it starts off with the bells, this is the same intro that Hell's Bells by AC/DC starts off with the bells ringing. So when I hear it on the radio, I like hold my breath thinking, oh my God, is this the Metallica? And always is AC/DC, and then I always get mad because I don't like AC/DC. But anyway, yeah, anything by Metallica is pretty good.
All right. Metallica's good. I really love, it's weird, I like covers of, like, metal bands doing covers of songs.
Yeah.
A bit more like Disturbed. They did a cover of Simon and Garfunkel.
Sound of Silence. It's a really good cover.
Love that cover by them. And then like Hailstorm, they did Bad Romance.
Yeah.
They did a good cover of that.
Do you ever listen to the Queen of the Damned soundtrack? Remember the movie Queen of the Damned? Aaliyah did it right before she died, and it's based on the Anne Rice novel about the vampires. The entire soundtrack was produced by Jonathan David, who is the lead singer of Korn.
Oh.
But it's all, like, Korn. There's, like, Korn, Linkin Park's on there. I think Kidney Thieves are on there. Like, a lot of that era, that early 2000s kind of metal alternative groups. And but it's the whole soundtrack. And it's really good if you like that genre of music, which was, like, right there and, like, just as I discovered Hot Topic.
Okay.
It was in that same vein of, like, because I remember watching Bride of Chucky.
Okay.
And really getting into Rob Zombie because they had the Living Dead Girl song on there.
Okay.
So through Rob Zombie, I got into, like, Kidney Thieves and stuff. So that kind of era, I was really a fan of, and I'll still enjoy. Rob Zombie stuff gets real repetitive, but it's still pretty good. I like the music he makes because he'll add, like, sounds. So it'll be like a song, but it'll have like a chainsaw in the background. Like, he just has a way of like producing stuff together, which is really good. Marilyn Manson does a lot of really good covers. If you like, he did a really good cover of This Is Halloween from the Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack.
This is Halloween.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, right. He did a really good cover of that. And he just did another one that he only ever did live, but he finally did the recording of it, and I can't remember what it is now. It's something else, like a song from, like, Willy Wonka or something. I don't know. I have to think about what it is. Anyway.
Okay. Let's see. Pop? Or, like, hip-hop?
Hip-hop. Hippity-hoppity.
Hip-hop pop?
I don't know. Who are we considering hip-hop? Just pop-based hip, like, because obviously rap is its own genre.
Anything that you would find on a that's what I call music CD.
Well, that's a lot of things now. That's pretty much anything mainstream. I don't know. I mean, I listen to a lot of, I guess when I think a lot of alternative, I guess would be the music I listen to. It would be filed under that.
All right.
Because a lot of it's like female singers or, I don't know. I try to diversify and get a little bit of everything, but I'm not as always open to discovering newer stuff as I once was, you know? Though I'm less...
A little more set in your ways.
That's true. Though I'm less, like... I remember going through a period where it's like, oh, that's on the radio. I don't listen to, like, stuff on the radio. Like, you know. And now it's like, oh, if that's a good song, I don't care if it's a pop song or if it's on the charts or whatever. Like, it's a good song. I like it. So... I don't have to be alternative to anyone else's music taste anymore.
Look at you.
I know I'm progressing. I'm developing and
changing. I don't know if I have a particularly favorite. The first song that pops into my mind is Million Reasons by Lady Gaga, actually. It's a real, like, nice ballad.
Yeah.
More. So I don't know if you'd call that... I mean, she's a pop artist.
That's true.
But I gotta say, I have become more of a Gaga fan.
She's...
Just because, well,
Yeah.
over the last year or two, couple years, she's branched out and shown people that she can do so much more than just the generic, like...
Yeah, well, she
Lady
released
Gaga.
that country album out of nowhere, and...
She did?
Yeah, Joanne with the guitar. A Million Reasons was on it, I believe.
Oh.
It's like, it's obviously not full country, but it's more country pop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, like, she did a tribute to, like, The Sound of Music.
Mm-hmm.
Sang that really well. She did, I mean, if you can nail the national anthem at a football game...
Take note, Fergie.
Yeah, Fergie, God. Ugh.
That was a band I could never get behind, was Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah? Why?
Now, I'd never listened to their early stuff before Fergie joined. I heard it was a lot better because it was more, like, political and, like, talked about social issues, and then they got her to join, and now it was like, let's get this party started.
Let's party.
Which, by the way, did you know the original song is Let's Get Retarded? It's like partying so hard you get, like, dumb.
Okay, yeah.
So they sang Let's Get Retarded in here, and then someone pointed out you can't play that on the radio, so they changed it to Let's Get It Started.
Let's get retarded here. I think I remember, I feel like I've heard those songs,
Yeah,
or maybe just someone knew the lyrics.
You can I think you can find the original recording, but they changed it after, and
that makes sense.
yeah, because you can't say retarded anymore. Like the good old days when you could just say retarded.
Can't say what you want to say.
Back in my day, we could just call people retards, and there was no repercussions because
You just walk up to them and go, "Hey, you fucking idiot!" Now I have to say, "Hey, you."
Person who's challenged.
Challenged person.
And that takes more time for me, and my time's important.
So I just have to stay silent. And
I'm angry because society's forcing me to change into a better person, and I don't like it.
So I go home and I kick my dog.
Aww.
Don't do that.
Nope.
I'm not advocating for animal abuse.
Nope.
I love animals. Speaking of animals, did you hear about the animal crackers? Where the famous
Animal crackers in my soup.
Yep, the boxes.
The circus crackers.
Yeah. The what?
Circus crackers?
Circus crackers. Circus crackers.
Yes.
Yeah. For years and years and years, the box has always been like an animal in a cage.
Yeah.
Animals in cages. PETA finally got off their asses.
No judgment in that tone.
Stuck their faces in where they don't belong, and we're like, you can't have animal crackers in boxes that look like cages.
I'm surprised they didn't say you can't eat crackers that look like animals, because that seems like animal abuse.
Right?
Because
I'm sure that's their next step.
They're extreme in their beliefs.
That's their next step, I'm sure. But now the circus crackers boxes are animals roaming in a nice wide open field.
I mean, it doesn't really hurt
because
anybody
hey, at the
changing it.
circus you see animals in fields all the time.
Yeah. Well, you don't really have circuses anymore.
No, not the ones with like animals in cages.
Yeah, it's
either,
all like people. Yeah. Anyway,
just let us have our nostalgia. Jeesh.
Well, I mean, I didn't have an issue with it before, but if they want to change it because it makes people feel better, it doesn't really harm the animal crackers. But I don't know. The people with PETA, because I'm very much a meat eater. Mm-hmm. I don't have an issue with eating meat. I feel for animals. I obviously don't want any living thing to suffer. Mm. But the concept that they're torturing animals before they're killing them is ridiculous. And while you might be able to find one person recording themselves torturing a cow before at a slaughterhouse, it doesn't mean that that's legally what they're allowed to do, or that's what's done in the general practice. So it's the idea that they see one bad thing once and they're like, oh, that must be how everybody's treated. Mm-hmm. And I'm just saying, maybe you should take these people who are in PETA, make them work on a farm for a couple weeks, and then see how they feel. Because I don't know about you, but chickens are assholes.
Yeah.
And after working with chickens for a week, you're gonna want to slaughter them and eat them.
See how many times it takes you to get attacked by a rooster when your back is turned before you punt that thing across 20 yards from you.
I think there's a way, our our bodies have developed to be carnivores. That's
that's what we are, but we're like weird and we eat vegetables.
Yes, but that's why when you don't eat meat, you have to supplement that with the same vitamins you get from meat, because that's how your body is meant to develop. So that's a biological reason behind eating animals.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've said this in conversation before. I'd probably eat a person if you didn't tell me that's what I was eating. I'm not condoning killing people and eating them. But if suddenly tomorrow people are like, oh, if you die of natural causes, we can kill you and eat you, or we can eat you, I probably wouldn't care as much as people would like think you'd care.
Beyond the disease, there is some weird
I think
psychological effect from eating humans.
I think it's only the brain though.
Are you sure? I
think you can't eat humans can't eat humans' brains, just like mad cow disease was cows eating other cows' brains. It's like a chemical thing, you can't do it.
Oh. I mean, it's meat.
But I don't think eating another person's like flesh. I mean, obviously your mind works, and so if you felt guilty enough, maybe there are psychological repercussions.
Well, I mean, I listen to so much crime podcasts where generally in the cases of cannibalism, the person is already kind of a little messed up anyways.
To want to eat meat. So like skin. People's meat.
There's that, but I guess I don't
survival style. If you were like,
well, even even to survive, like eating someone that brings repercussions.
I don't think.
But then that's more like just you're killing someone to survive. You're taking their life so you can survive.
I don't know. You can't.
I don't know. I guess if you'd be super. Sorry, I'm going way too much into this. Like,
no, that's okay.
You died of like old age. You'd be super tough and just nasty.
I don't think even if it was somebody in the prime of their tastiousness would be tasty. Like, since we're used to eating certain types of animal meat, I think human meat would not be good. We'd be all.
I mean, I think it'd be the same as like eating monkey.
Which I don't want to do. I mean, I will if it's the only option, but
people do that. So
that's true. I don't know. I'm just saying it's you can like animals and still understand that they are bred for food. Cows don't really have a purpose other than the food they give us. Yes, they give us
other animals.
Well, yes, they give us milk, and that's great, but you know what I mean. But they also give us meat. So there's certain animals. It's like. Do I think we should hunt down endangered species to kill them to eat them? No. But if it's something that we're breeding anyway, like a cow or a chicken, fine. I don't know. Just saying.
That's true, yeah. Everything is here for a purpose. Everything...
It's the circle of life. Did we not watch The Lion King?
Right? Everything eats everything.
The antelopes eat the grass, and the lions eat the antelopes, and...
Then the antelopes become the grass. Something like that.
Yeah, it's in there somewhere.
Antelopes die and you become part of the earth.
It's Hamlet.
You become a Grass, yeah.
Hamlet.
Okay. Probably one more question.
Okay.
Oh. If you could be any celebrity, who would it be?
Did we have this one already? Or was it who would your best friend be?
Who would your best friend be?
Okay.
Or maybe, it might have been like, who would you switch places with?
I don't know.
I think we've definitely talked about this before.
If I could be any...
But things may have changed since then, so...
That's true. If I could be any celebrity.
If you could be any celebrity, who would it be? So, I guess a specific person.
I don't know.
I don't know if... I don't know if I would want to be a celebrity. Even, like, with the money... Just, I don't like being the center of attention or have people, like, swarming around me anyways. So, I would pick someone who is not in the news or not cared about much.
Right.
Let's see, who haven't you heard of for a while, in a while?
Off the top of your head, who haven't you thought about in a while?
Maybe like Macaulay Culkin type.
Oh, yeah.
Where you kind of know of...
He has a podcast now.
He does?
He's a good person to pick because he's still in the pop culture because people will always remember his movies.
Richie Rich. Home Alone. Home Alone.
Well, yeah, Richie Rich.
Rich
but yeah,
Rich too.
Home Alone, all that kind of stuff. But he still has money from his childhood, so he doesn't really have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally he'll, like, write stuff, or he'll, like, put out music, or he'll, like, whatever. But he just essentially, like, lives a bohemian lifestyle, and he just, like, moves around and, like, hangs out, and, like, it's, like, doesn't have to worry about money, which is crazy to me that you would be, because he's only in his, mid-30s, and he doesn't have to worry about money at all, which is insane, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he'd be a good one. I mean, obviously, anybody who was famous as a kid, I think probably psychologically there's some issues there, but he seems relatively well-adjusted. It's public record that his dad was kind of an asshole, but, I mean, at least he has money. A lot of people have family members and parents that they didn't, that were horrible to them as kids and don't have any money, so...
Stole from him, yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be a good one. He's dating, you know who he's dating right now? Brenda Brenda Song. The one who was in Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. The Asian one. She was in... I'll look her up.
You forget, I don't watch as much, like...
This was from your heyday, though.
I didn't watch programs like that, though. I was weird.
She was probably in something you've seen.
I watched, like,
Does
MASH
she look familiar?
and Jag. Yeah.
Yeah. He's dating her, even though she's, like, my age, which isn't that much. It's probably, like, 6 or 7 years age difference. But yeah, supposedly he wants to, like, settle down with her. He dated Mila Kunis for, like, 8 years.
Oh, nice.
Then they broke up, and now
She got married to Ashton Kutcher.
But anyway. Oh, Kristen Bell.
Ooh.
I'd want to be Kristen Bell. I'd want to be friends with Kristen Bell. I'd even be Dax Shepard so I could be married to Kristen Bell. I just think I get such a positive vibe from her as a human. Like, it doesn't even matter that she's a good actress and she's, like, very attractive. But, like, she just has a real good vibe that I think she'd be a good person regardless of where she was, what she was doing. I like her husband a lot, so that seems like that'd be a real fun relationship to be in. She's got 2 kids, but I'm sure they're going to be relatively chill considering both her and her husband are. Plus, she's got roots, you know? Yeah. From Michigan.
Oh, is she?
Yep. Nice. She's from...
Michigander.
Over by the Detroit... One of the suburban areas around Detroit. Both her and Dax Shepard are both from suburban Detroit area.
Oh, nice.
And that they met at some sort of party over there after they both already had been famous.
Huh.
Yes, her... Like, someone like... Yeah, Kristen Bell or maybe, like, Emma Stone... Someone like that, who I think would be, regardless cool. of whether they're talented, but even if they weren't doing what they're doing, they'd still probably have a really good life because they're just a good person. So, plus they're attractive and thin, and who doesn't want to be attractive and thin? Life's just so much easier when that, I'm sure.
Except being, like, hounded by guys.
Yeah, but you can be a bitch when you're attractive and thin. If you're kind of middle quality, attractive, and heavy, people are like, well, you should be happy for the compliment, you know what I mean? Whereas if you're, you know, so, I don't know.
Alright.
Anyway.
I do, just thinking of Emma Stone, I randomly watched a YouTube video of her getting so excited about possibly talking to the Spice Girls, or talking where she'll get, like, Terry or Graham Norton. Who was on her show, and he was, like, psyching her up to thinking that they were coming out, and he's like, well, the Spice Girls are not here.
And she's, like, got really upset. Yeah. Well, they had a radio interview where they had Melanie B Skype in, and she's, like, cries. She's like, oh, my God. Well, Kristen Bell had the same thing she was on Ellen, and they played the video of her seeing the sloth. Did you see that one? So she goes in and she talks about her birthday and how her husband rented a sloth, and she, like, loses it, and he's, like, recording her with her phone, and she's like, I just knew this day would come, and I'm so excited. She's, like, crying, and she's like a child when you tell them they're going to, like, Disneyland. She just can't control how excited she is to, like, hang out with the sloth. And it's, like, weird things like that I just think are great.
Fun little quirks.
Yeah.
Do you want to do one more, or?
Sure.
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, I don't know. She's looking at the thing, so I don't know time-wise. It could have been 20 minutes. It could have been 20 hours. I have no idea.
Yep, I never tell you.
She never does. She just gives me the eyes, and then I know to shut up and wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Yeah, we don't do the wrap it up anymore. Or
you just press a buzz and an orchestra starts playing like you're playing me off of an award ceremony. Should be how we end all the episodes.
I've thought about that.
Oh, yeah, and I'd like to thank my mom and dad.
I put that in at the end of every episode, and it kind of goes into the outro.
Yeah.
But I feel like if we did that, we would just end up talking over it, and to the point where it goes up, and we're like, oh god!
No, I just want to thank you so much. Peace in the Middle East.
All right, last question. Kind of fits with the celebrity one.
Uh-huh.
Would you be willing to reduce your lifespan by 10 years to become rich or famous?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rich, probably. Because if you didn't have to worry about money, I'm not saying I'd have to be, like, crazy rich, right? Like, private jet rich. But just to have enough money where I could pay my bills and then, like, buy myself something nice every once in a while, or treat somebody to a nice gift, or go on a trip. I'd like to travel a lot if I had money. And also still have a job, but, like, not be, like, a slave to it where I can't walk away if I'm not happy, kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. That level of wealth.
Definitely.
I would do that. Yeah, for 10 years off my life? I think we live too long anyway.
We're living longer and longer.
I mean, they say after the age of, it's like 65, maybe? Maybe it's 70. Again, this is a fact. I don't know all the details, but I'm going to say it confidently anyway. After a certain age, it's not that old, it costs an average $20,000 a year to keep yourself alive in, like, medical bills.
Health and stuff, yeah.
So it's like, I think after a certain age, I'm not saying we should all start, smothering our grandparents or putting ourselves on a ice floe and shoving it out to sea. But, once you get like 70, 75, you know what I mean? Like, it's at that point, it's just, how's the health? I'm worried about getting sick. Everyone else I know is dying. Like,
friends are dying.
Yeah, it's not a fun time. I don't blame old people for being crotchety. I'd be crotchety too if everything hurt every day and I didn't know what was going on. I go real slow because I assume their sense of speed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think that as you get older, your, like, sense of, like, movement changes, so you don't realize you're going slower when you just are.
You just kind of naturally move slower, so then everything seems
faster. Yeah, I'd buy that.
That could make sense.
I don't know if there's any science behind that, but I'd buy that.
Yeah.
What about you? We already established you don't want to be famous, but rich.
Yeah. So, 10 years rich. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I knew that, I guess the trick is knowing when you're dying, because taking 10 years off your life could mean I die tomorrow.
Oh, that's true, because you're supposed to die in 10 years.
I'm rich, but I die tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah, I'd take 10 years off and then, use the money to have fun, travel around, make sure, like, friends and family, like, close friends and family, not, like, someone I meet off the street. And like, you're my friend, because you're rich. But make sure people are taken care of. Donate to actually, like, good, like, research and...
Yeah. Well, if you had enough money, you could start a foundation, and then you would know how much goes to what,
We'd actually go into it.
You'd be one of those people, like, they have...
I think I would do that.
Right?
I would, like, use my money, start a foundation, but then if it started, like, getting more money and doing better... I would still just have my personal wealth, but, like, I would make for damn sure that my, like, whoever CEOs or
in charge,
like, people in charge are not getting $1 billion while the foundation gets 1,000. Which is some nasty bullshit.
Nasty. It's nasty.
Alright.
Yeah, so, alright.
Guess we can wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Do 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 do. I don't know why my rap music is the theme to Jurassic Park. Do 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 do. Can you just, if you got an Oscar and you're like, this means so much, I worked so hard, and like it just.
Well, it reminds me of Jennifer Lawrence, where she won an Oscar and she was up against Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
But she got the Oscar and she's like, I beat Meryl!
Right. Which was a quote from the First Wives Club.
It was, which Meryl Streep was in.
Yeah.
Then everyone jumped down her throat about that.
She wasn't in it. Goldie Hawn was in it.
Oh, and they
said, oh, look, here's your Oscar. What does it say? I beat Meryl. Like, it was a running,
running gag.
Uh-huh. Did you know that the new Mamma Mia movie, Cher, is supposed to be her mother?
Really?
Yeah. They're like
Okay.
5 years apart, maybe. They were in movies together as co-workers or as people who were supposed to be in the same age.
Well, I mean, I've seen movies, I guess, where, like, the parent is, like, doesn't look very much older.
Yeah,
Parents are younger and younger, where it could be, like, a...
They're like, wow, did you have them when you were 8?
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Anyway. Well, that was a random episode.
Very random. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
There might be an intro tacked on.
As soon as the weather gets less hot, guys, we'll come back strong, I promise.
We're working on it.
We'll come back with a game plan.
Motivation's hard. I'm applying to a billion different jobs.
Yeah, April's job hunting.
Stressing out.
I've been working both jobs like crazy.
Driving around.
Driving a lot. Mm-hmm. My car has a lot of miles on it. It is not worth a lot of money. I had the loan refinanced for a lower interest because I have better credit than I did when I bought the car 3 years ago. And when they got it, they're like, just so you know, the loan is for more than the car is worth, because that is the case all the time. Apparently, you drive it off the lot and it's like, oh, there's $5,000 of that car price.
Yep, pretty much.
So they're like, so if you get in a car accident, you won't get any money. You know what I mean? Like, essentially,
yeah.
I'll end up having to pay a difference. So now I'm real paranoid that someone's gonna crash into my car and I'm not gonna be able to get another one. Anyway, that's my own insecurities. You guys don't need to know about that.
Yes, we'll come back strong.
Yes.
Hopefully do some more fun stuff. But until then, Danka bitches. Thanks for listening to Podcrashed. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Podcrashed Podcast. You can also check out our website at www.podcrashed.wordpress.com. Email us at podcrashed@gmail.com. We promise to answer your questions. Theme song is by Creo. New episodes come out on Tuesdays. And as always, Donka bitches.